Good Morning America. Tornado outbreak.
Oh my God.
At least 16 people killed as violent spring storms sweep across the Midwest, bringing severe weather to 90 million Americans from Texas to New Jersey. This church in St. Louis crumbling.
The extreme weather is now moving here through downtown Indianapolis.
Team coverage of these dangerous storms and where they're headed next.
Massive manhunt, the intense search going on right now after 10 inmates, some facing murder charges, bust out of jail in New Orleans.
This was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye.
At least 3 recaptured, why authorities think they had help in their escape, and the taunting message they left behind.
Explosive testimony. Cassie Ventura wraps up 4 days on the stand in the racketeering trial of ex-boyfriend Sean Diddy Combs. How the defense is questioning her memory and motivation and what she said about that beating caught on camera.
Bear attack. Minutes after these bears were spotted, a man mauled in his own backyard.
My leg, my left leg, my whole left leg.
The frantic 911 call and what that man was trying to do when the bear came charging.
Summer travel season getting ready to kick off Memorial Day weekend. A travel expert shares advice for avoiding the crowds, plus the great deals on last-minute getaways.
WNBA tip-off. The 2025 season underway. ESPN's Andrea Carter with the names and teams to watch.
Brunson, step back, three-pointer, got it.
And Knicks in 6. The team crushing the Celtics to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. It's quiet out in Times Square now.
Yeah, a little bit.
But about 7 hours ago or so, it wasn't. It was wild. The Knicks pulling off that decisive win against the Celtics to head to the Eastern Conference Finals. Fans going wild in the streets, celebrating outside Madison Square Garden following that 38-point blowout. We've got the highlights ahead.
People were climbing on the light poles and everything. It was like
they were doing it big.
A few zombies still walking around early this morning in Times Square. Yeah.
We've also got the latest overnight on that major transit strike. Train engineers for New Jersey Transit walking picket lines for a second day. The latest ahead on when contract talks could resume.
Yeah, a lot to cover there. Also, we'll go live to Vatican City and preparations for tomorrow's installation of Pope Leo, the first Roman Catholic Pope from the U.S., will formally take charge of the church as leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics.
But we do begin here, of course, with that deadly tornado outbreak in the Midwest. The violent storms killing at least 16 people overnight, and we're expecting more extreme weather all weekend long. ABC's Alex Stone is in Clear Creek, Indiana with the latest now. Good morning, Alex.
Gio, good morning to you. We're getting our first look with the sun coming up of what this tornado did here. In fact, this was the post office in this small town. You can see what remains of the blue post office box, the lock boxes, shipping supplies, greeting cards. There's debris and nails all over the ground here. Just one of multiple tornadoes in this region.
Overnight, deadly storms from the heartland to the East Coast, bringing heavy floods, powerful winds, large hail, and tornadoes to over 90 million Americans. Parts of Kentucky shredded, at least 9 dead in Laurel County. This neighborhood torn apart by a tornado, home after home reduced to rubble. First responders searching for survivors.
We saw stuff falling, and next thing we knew, he said most of the house was gone.
The governor there declaring a state of emergency. In Missouri, at least 7 deaths across the state.
It's all debris in the road.
In St. Louis, Missouri, the damage extensive.
Oh my God, look at that door. And the houses, oh my God.
Debris littering the roads, trees uprooted like this massive one strewn across the street. At least 4 dead in the city due to the storm, 1 killed after part of this church crumbled to the ground.
I'm a resident here in St. Louis. I was born and raised here. Never seen anything like this.
Baby, this is all hail.
In a nearby suburb, large pieces of hail hammering these homes. Tornadoes also touching down in Missouri, this one captured from the highway. And another one seen nearly 3 hours north. And in Illinois, this video capturing a twister forming in Marion. A dust storm in Bloomington consuming the sky, roads barely visible for drivers navigating their way through. We were across the border in Indiana as a storm raged on.
The extreme weather is now moving here through downtown Indianapolis. There's a concert down the street. People are taking shelter in the lobbies of the buildings to get out of this.
The Northeast also hit hard as those storms pushed east, floodwaters overtaking parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Damaging winds ripping through Virginia, toppling trees and leaving at least 2 dead.
With the number of dead going up today, over 500,000 people in this region have no electricity this morning.
And we know this is just the beginning in some places. Alex Stone for us. Thank you so much. Let's get an outlook now for this multi-day storm outbreak and go to Samara Theodore here. Samara, what are we looking at?
Yeah, you know, Whit, it is really looking devastating in those images. Just yesterday alone, we saw more than 600 storm reports, 26 reported tornadoes so far from Texas all the way to New Jersey. Right now, the current threat is in Alabama, parts of Mississippi. You have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 a.m. Central Time. For the Carolinas, that goes through lunchtime. Stick around. We're going to talk more about who will see what when through the coming days. For now, Janae, back to you.
Important because, as you just mentioned, a multi-day storm. Samara, thank you. Now to the urgent manhunt this morning following a mass escape from a New Orleans jail. Authorities say 10 men got out. At least 3 have already been recaptured. ABC's Maria Villarreal joins us with the very latest on the search. Good morning to you, Maria.
Hey, good morning, Janae. Local schools and universities, they are on high alert. They are stepping up security on campus, and a graduation ceremony is expected to happen over the weekend. As of now, this jail escape, it happened in the heart of New Orleans. 7 dangerous criminals still on the run, leaving the community on edge. This morning, new images and details emerging from inside that New Orleans jail where 10 inmates dug their way out. Surveillance video showing 2 of the men rigorously pulling on a cell door that police say leads outside, then watches all 10 quickly run out of the building through a loading dock door and onto the interstate.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye.
Authorities say the group took advantage of defective locks on their usual cells and making their way here, removing a bolted toilet from the wall to create their escape.
All of this has been removed and these have been clean cut. We have reason to believe that there was some assistance with this.
Scrawled on the wall above, "We innocent" and "Too easy," with an arrow toward the hole where they escaped, out of view of the officer on duty. Authorities say they broke out around 1 a.m. early Friday morning, but officers didn't realize what happened until an official head count took place at 8:30, more than 7 hours later. Police say at the time of the incident, there were no deputies at that unit, and the assigned technician had stepped away to get food.
We know that they had help. We're showing you they had help. This was coordinated.
So far, 3 of the 10 escapees found hours later, 1 hiding beneath a car at a hotel in the French Quarter, and now a multi-agency manhunt intensifying for 7 more suspects, some facing murder charges, all considered armed and dangerous.
It is a disaster of epic proportions that I haven't seen, and there will certainly be an inquiry into any and everyone who played any role in helping these individuals get out of the jail. Everyone is going to be charged and prosecuted.
As of right now, 3 employees have been placed on suspension, but we do know more than 200 men and women are aiding in this manhunt as it intensifies, including the U.S. Marshals and the FBI, who are now offering a $5,000 reward for any tips that lead to an arrest. Gio?
What an unbelievable story, Medea. Thank you for bringing that to us. And we're going to turn now to the major transit strike in New Jersey and New York, affecting hundreds of thousands of people. Shakira fans going to her concert overnight, having to find another way to get there. And it is not over just yet.
Who are we? Locomotive engineers.
This morning, the New Jersey transit strike now entering its 2nd day.
It's just disorganized from top to bottom.
Leaving passengers frustrated as they navigated the evening commute, trying to find other options.
Basically paid for 2 ways now. I'm already paying a monthly, so now I'm double paying for my commute, plus parking.
Negotiators failing to hold talks Friday after both sides said that they were willing to come back to the table.
Our doors are open. We are ready to restart negotiations literally this second. But we need the BLET to come back to the negotiating table in good faith.
The vice president of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, James Lewis, telling me how talks broke down late Thursday, hours before the strike was called.
You were in that negotiation meeting for 15 hours.
Correct.
What happened?
We gave them our last offer. We thought it was going to be one that they could be acceptable. After a few minutes, they came back in the room, thanked us for what we did, but said they're not talking anymore, and they got up and walked out.
It all comes down to pay, the union saying its members are the lowest paid of any major passenger railroad, despite operating the third largest train system in the country.
Contract! When do we want it? Now!
On Friday, Penn Station's platforms abandoned. These trains that typically carry more than 350,000 commuters each day, sitting empty in Hoboken. For now, passengers relying on New Jersey Transit bus routes with additional capacity, preparing for increased traffic and commute times.
Yeah, just a mess. And Beyonce's concert is also at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on Thursday, so fans may also need to find another way to get there. But talks aren't expected to get going again until tomorrow. We will see if they finally get to a decision.
Yeah.
So many people impacted by this and having to find alternative ways to get to work, to school.
That's right. Potential ripple effect, too. Gio, thank you for that. We do turn now to the explosive testimony in the sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecution witness Cassie Ventura wrapping up 4 days on the stand. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky joins us with a look at what comes next in this case. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning to you. We had a week of testimony like no other, reduced Sean Combs from one-time cultural icon to what its own lawyers described as an abusive, jealous, vindictive drug addict. Cassie Ventura was the star, but jurors are now getting a sense of the supporting cast. After 4 intense, disturbing, uncomfortable days of testimony, Cassie Ventura walked off the witness stand without looking at Sean Combs, saying in a statement read by her lawyer she hoped revealing the darkest secrets of her life makes a difference.
I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear.
The defense questioned her memory and her motivation. Ventura testified she expected to receive $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel after the beating caught on security cameras there in 2016, in addition to the $20 million she said she received from Combs in a civil settlement. But she told the jury, "I'd give that money back if I never had to have freak-offs." On cross-examination, Ventura said she believed Combs was intoxicated during that incident. The defense argues Combs became violent because of drugs, not as a means to strong-arm Ventura into sex, as prosecutors allege.
I just feel like Diddy's gonna pull something because that's just how he is.
Dawn Richard, who appeared on the reality show Making the Band and became part of Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, testified she observed Cassie being attacked by Combs. She said she was at his Los Angeles home in 2009 when she saw Combs hit Ventura in the head and beat her on the ground. Combs has denied the allegation.
She wanted to do the right thing and come and testify, and that's why she's here.
The jury also saw what federal agents said they seized from the hotel room the night Combs was arrested in September. Illegal drugs, $9,000 cash, tubes of lubricant, and bottles of baby oil. The same kind of supplies Cassie Ventura said Combs wanted for freak-offs. Cassie Ventura's mother is expected to testify next week. So is a woman who Ventura said Combs hit with a wooden hanger. Just another example of what prosecutors say was his assaultive behavior.
Wow. And what more could we expect to hear from that testimony from Cassie's mother, and what else do we expect next week?
Cassie Ventura said she had endured a beating at the hands of Sean Combs just before she was scheduled to go home to Connecticut to visit her mom. The jury saw pictures that she said her mother took of bruises on her back and legs. You could see the welts visible. Her mom's expected to back up her testimony. Whether it amounts to sex trafficking, though, that's the major question for the jury. Prosecutors still may have some work to do there.
That is the question. We have weeks to go left in this trial.
Sure do.
Aaron, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you being there, Aaron. Turning overseas now, with at least 9 people reported killed in Ukraine by a Russian drone strike just hours after the two countries held their first face-to-face talks in more than 3 years. ABC's Lama Hassan has the very latest on that from London. Good morning, Lama.
Yeah, good morning to you, Janae. That's right. This morning, the Ukrainian military says a Russian drone strike hit a civilian bus in the Sumy region near the northeastern border. The bus packed with passengers. The Russian Defense Ministry saying they were targeting a military equipment staging area. The attack coming just hours after a diplomatic push for peace. Officials from Ukraine and Russia meeting in Istanbul in the first face-to-face talks in more than 3 years. The meeting lasting for 90 minutes and both sides agreeing to exchange 1,000 prisoners of war. So, no changes to the war, no ceasefire deal, and notably absent were their leaders, President Zelensky and President Putin. They were not part of these talks. The two sides still far apart on key issues, but what they did agree on is to continue talking. And the Ukrainian defense minister saying the next step should be a meeting between Zelensky and Putin. President Trump weighing in, saying nothing will happen until he and Putin get together. Trump telling reporters they may meet soon. The Kremlin this morning saying so far the president has not contacted Putin. Gio.
Okay, Lama, thank you so much. And President Trump returning home overnight, concluding his whirlwind tour of the Middle East and making deals. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is following it all from Washington this morning. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. President Trump says the U.S. is getting closer to a nuclear deal with Iran, confirming the country has the U.S. proposal, but giving few details. Trump warned that Iran has to move quickly or something bad is going to happen. Trade between the two countries is currently significantly restricted. Trump says Iran wants to trade with the U.S. and that he's okay with it, adding he's using trade to settle scores. The president making those comments on his way back from his whirlwind Middle East trip, visiting 3 countries in 4 days. But this trip was more focused on business deals than geopolitics, raising concerns about blurring the lines between diplomacy and personal financial interests. The Trump Organization, now run by his sons, have projects in all 3 countries the president visited. In the UAE, the White House claims $200 billion in deals between the two nations. In Saudi Arabia, Trump announced the country will invest $600 billion in the U.S. And while in Qatar, a nation Trump once accused of funding terrorism, the president signed a deal for the country to buy up to 210 American-made jets from Boeing. Whit.
Selena Wang for us, thank you. Now to the Vatican, where the excitement is building for the installation Mass of Pope Leo, the first American pontiff. ABC's Maggie Riley joins us now from Vatican City. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Wick, good morning. Yeah, we're less than 24 hours away from that installation Mass of Pope Leo XIV. And guys, while he's been Pope since he walked out onto that balcony last week, this Mass marks the official start of his papacy. And we are expecting huge crowds for St. Peter's Square and the surrounding area to be filled to capacity. That's around 250,000 people. And we expect to see Pope Leo ride through that crowd in his Pope-mobile for the first time. And guys, this could be a chance for him to personally greet and bestow blessings onto the people that are waiting for him. Now, the start of the ceremony is deeply symbolic. Pope Leo will enter St. Peter's Basilica and he'll pray before the tomb of St. Peter. The rest of the Mass will take place outside and it normally lasts around 2 hours. We also expect more than 150 delegations from around the world to be present at this Mass, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, along with their wives. You guys, remember, it was Vance, a Catholic, who was here in Vatican City with his family just about a month ago, and he was one of the last people to meet with Pope Francis while he was alive. But at this point, it's still unclear if Pope Leo will be meeting with either Vance or Rubio tomorrow.
It will be quite the spectacle tomorrow morning. Maggie Rulli, thank you. And ABC News Live will carry special coverage of Pope Leo XIV's installation at the Vatican beginning Sunday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern. And you can stream it on Hulu, Disney Plus, or most of your favorite streaming apps.
And now we're going to turn to the NBA playoffs. Huge game overnight. The Knicks with a solid victory, punching their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. ABC's Ashin Singh is here with a bit of a heavy heart. Ashin, good morning.
That's right, Gio. I'm struggling today, but it was Knicks in 6 after all, after the New York Knicks put away the defending champion Boston Celtics soundly last night at Madison Square Garden. It was the moment the city had been waiting for, with thousands of Knicks fans faithfully piled outside of MSG to cheer on Jalen Brunson and the Knicks as they look to advance to their first Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Experts were calling it the most expensive home game in franchise history, with the cheapest ticket coming in close to $700. But last night, the Garden was rocking, and their guys did not disappoint. Four of the Knicks starters notched over 20 points, and a monster double-double from Karl-Anthony Towns had the Knicks up big in Boston throughout the game. They'll now go on to face the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And guys, over in the West, we've got some big basketball going on with a chance to go on to the Western Conference Finals. We have the two MVP finalists in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder going up against Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, and they've got a chance to play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Guys?
All right, you can catch all of that game right here on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. Ashin, thank you, and we are sorry to you and the Boston Celtics.
The Celtics fans and my Warriors fans, we can just get together, hug it out, cry it out. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashin. Still coming up here on GMA, the proposal from the FAA that would impact millions of travelers through Newark Airport.
Plus, a dramatic 911 tape as a Florida man survives a bear attack in his own backyard.
And in our next hour, Emmy winner and star of The Chi, Lynn Whitfield, joins us live. Stay with us.
Broken back grounder up the middle. Gets to it.
Welcome back to GMA on this Saturday morning. This is the first official rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. That means 15 matchups between longtime enemies. One of the big matchups, of course, the New York Subway Series. The Mets versus the Yankees. Former Yankee Juan Soto making his first trip to Yankee Stadium as a member of the, I feel like hated Mets is the wrong word, but you know, the hardcore rivals. Yes, yesterday as the crowd, they booed the Yankees there, winning the game 6-2. Sorry, a lot of numbers in there. 6-2 was the score. The Yankees booed the Mets. That's what
got it.
Yeah, you got it? All right, good.
All right, Whit, thank you. Now let's take a look at some of the other big stories we're following here on this Saturday morning, happening right now. After weeks of chaos and delays, the FAA wrapped up 3 days of meetings with airline representatives with the goal of cutting flights in and out of Newark Liberty International Airport. The FAA saying that the cuts will free up airspace and runway availability and allow for more reliability.
Also right now, the Supreme Court ruling against the Trump administration in deporting Venezuelan migrants using the Alien Enemies Act. The justices extending the ban. The Supreme Court temporarily imposed in an emergency ruling last month. The 7-2 majority, including Trump's 3 appointees, Justices Alito and Thomas, joining in a dissent.
And the FDA has cleared the first blood test to help diagnose Alzheimer's disease. The test looks for 2 proteins in the blood that are linked to the devastating disease. The test is for those over the age of 55 who are already showing symptoms.
Important there. And we are going to start this half hour with a look ahead at Memorial Day travel and your weekend travel plans. Lots of us ready to kick off the summer season. Let's bring in travel expert Katie Nastro for some do's and don'ts on planning that perfect getaway. Katie, good morning.
Welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me back on GMA.
All right. This is a real record setter, right? 45 million people expected to travel next weekend, most of them by car. So help us with traffic. How do we avoid it?
Yeah, correct, Gio. 87% of people traveling for Memorial Day are going to hit the road. So we want people to do their best and try to avoid that late afternoon Friday peak window of starting around 2:30 in major metro areas. AAA has a really handy major metro traffic guide, and it basically gives you, based on the city or the city that you're closest to, when to avoid. And again, you know, most people are going to be traveling back on that Monday. So if you do have to travel back on that Monday via car, try to go early.
Okay, so helpful there. And traveling by car isn't the only way people are getting around. What else do you recommend?
You know, interestingly enough, we've seen an uptick in the other categories. So that's buses, trains, cruises, specifically amongst younger demographics. 8% increase year over year in that other category. So, you know, especially when you're looking at cruises, the affordability is there, and it's sort of a no-brainer. You know, you just sort of step on the ship, set it and forget it. All of your activities, your restaurants, whatnot is all taken care of. You don't have decision paralysis, where I think a lot of people in travel planning tend to not like it because of that. They don't know, there's so many choices, so many great places around the world.
I have a hard time. I've been telling you, I have a hard time planning.
Yes.
I'm like, where do I go?
Too many
Where
good
is
places.
it cheap?
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to spend a lot of money.
Exactly. So yeah, look at alternative forms of transport, not just road trips, not just flights. There's other categories out there.
Ever since our first Disney cruise, I've told my husband that's the only way we should travel. And it's not just because Disney is the parent company of ABC
So
News.
fun for kids, though.
So
I remember going on a Disney cruise as a youngster, younger than I am now. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, really, it is so memorable for kids.
And if you are flying, this is the first big holiday after the Real ID deadline. What's your baseline advice?
Well, you know, for all of us that do have a real ID, like I do, which you all
do
shamed me last night.
Yeah.
Got it in the mail. Yeah, you know, look. The TSA is not going to be cracking down, and this is really going to be the first test for the Real ID. Best piece of advice that we are giving people over at Going, just give yourself a little bit extra time. Don't fret if you don't have a Real ID. They are allowing people through, that you do need to go through an extra step in verification through security. So just give yourself a little bit more window of time. I'm putting my travel dad hat on. You need a little bit more time at the airport.
Okay, so you haven't made a plan yet, if you haven't made a plan yet. What do you do? Where are the deals? Where can we find them? Because I know you're the deal expert, so find them.
Yeah, we love, you know, Memorial Day is really about short haul trips. So places like New York to Chicago for 148 round trip. Chicago comes alive in the summer. Or maybe you're based on the West Coast. You can go from San Francisco to Arcata.
Okay.
Explore that Redwood National Park. I spent a Memorial Day there once, and it is fairy tale like.
Beautiful.
Super beautiful. Or maybe you do want to take an international trip. You can go from Miami to Guatemala City for 167 round trip. I was just in Antigua, Guatemala. Volcanoes everywhere.
How cool.
Beautiful city. Really, really great for a short period of time. So, you know, 2 to 3 day trip, maybe 4 if you can. Yeah, I mean, there's so many options out there.
I saw Iceland on your list too.
Iceland is on the list as well. It's roughly a 5-hour flight from Boston for $97, I believe it was. Crazy good deal. And that's last minute. I mean, Memorial Day is right around the corner. So if you have a little bit of time, you can go a little bit farther afield.
That's great.
Deals
and a
are
little
happening.
bit of flexibility too.
Yeah, we found all those round trip on the Going app, and those are on full service. Those are not on budget carriers.
Wow.
Okay. Katie, as always, we appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy travels.
There, you got it. A man's frantic 911 call to police saying that he was bitten by a bear in his own backyard while trying to protect his dog. ABC's Faith Abube listened to that call and has more on what neighbors are saying now. Faith, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Wade. It was a difficult 911 call to hear. The homeowner frantic and just incredulous that a bear mauled him in his own backyard, leaving him with, quote, a hole in his leg.
I just got bit by a bear in my backyard.
This morning, the dramatic 911 call of a Florida man just moments after he was attacked in his backyard by a bear.
They tried to attack my dog. And I went to rescue my dog, and it bit me in my leg.
The grisly encounter happening in the wee hours of Thursday morning. This Ring camera video captured by a neighbor showing 2 bears playing with a trash bag just before the attack. The 45-year-old victim telling 911 dispatchers he heard his dog yelp in his backyard. When he went to check on him, he came face to face with a bear.
It bit my leg, my left leg, my whole left leg. And he charged me again after he bit me. I kicked him in the face and I ran as fast as I could in the house.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission saying the bear left his property and has not been seen since. They are now investigating the incident and have placed a trap at the home. First responders transporting the man to a nearby hospital. The incident leaving neighbors on edge. They say the overdevelopment of the neighborhood has led to recent bear sightings.
It shouldn't have happened. The bears have no place to go anymore.
And Gio, despite this homeowner's injuries, he is still incredibly fortunate. Just last week, the state of Florida recorded its first ever deadly bear attack. An 89-year-old man and his dog killed. Officials say bear encounters are becoming less unusual in Florida, and they recommend securing outdoor trash cans to keep them at bay. Gio.
That is absolutely terrifying.
It is.
Gotta keep your distance.
Yeah. And Faith, great to have you here in studio. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
Now on GMA, the new WNBA season tipping off overnight in what promises to be an exciting and competitive season. ESPN's Andrea Carter joins us with more on who we should be keeping our eyes on. Welcome back, Andrea. We always love to see you. Let's start with Paige Bueckers, the #1 draft pick. The Dallas Wings, they lost last night against the Minnesota Lynx. Bueckers scoring 10 points. How do you see this transition going for her, and what can we expect?
You know, I feel like, how do you see this transition going? I see this transition growing for Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings. Paige Bueckers is going to get more and more comfortable, more and more aggressive, but expect a lot of excitement. Paige Beckers has so many fans. She is so beloved across the country. She's playing alongside Arike Egumbawale. So I expect those two to have a ton of great chemistry, but it's going to be a season where they have to grow. Not only Paige as a player, but Dallas as a team. Expected to get better and better from here. And Paige, efficiency and aggression, two things she absolutely nailed at the end of her college career. Those things are going to come along to the start of her WNBA career.
And Andrea, I said before the break that you were here in studio, but of course you're not, because you're on the road. You're very, very busy. So we appreciate you traveling all across the country for ESPN. So listen, the Liberty won it all last year, and ESPN really has them as the #1 pick right now again this year. But teams like the Lynx, they're out for revenge.
The Minnesota Lynx are absolutely out for revenge, and the New York Liberty added a couple of pieces, so I understand them being the top pick for winning the championship again, but look out for the Minnesota Lynx. That is a team led by Napheesa Collier, who had an incredible season. She was in the MVP conversation. This Minnesota Lynx team had a ton of incredible team chemistry. They didn't make a lot of changes to their roster. They're looking to come back with the same fire, the same energy, and the same connectivity to each other on the floor on both ends. They're looking to get that championship opportunity again, and this time win it. Some calls didn't go their way in the last game of the finals that they think should have went their way. They kind of feel like it was stolen from them a little bit. So the Lynx are definitely out for revenge. You're exactly right.
All right, Andrea, and there's another big name player, a lot of expectations going into this season. What should we be watching for?
Well, it's incredible that we haven't talked about this player yet, because every WNBA conversation really starts with Caitlin Clark because of the season that she had last year. Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year. We talked about Paige being the #1 rookie this year. The #1 pick last season was Caitlin Clark, and she had a phenomenal record-breaking year. Caitlin Clark, as a rookie, broke WNBA records that were set by veterans, and the Indiana Fever have added pieces around her, veteran pieces that match her skill set. Indiana is in win now mode, and all eyes are on Caitlin Clark to see how she builds off of her record-breaking year last year.
Okay, so given all of that, Andrea, and I know we're early, the season just got going, but two teams who could be title contenders.
You know what's amazing is this season there are quite a few teams that I think could be title contenders. I'm going to give you ones that are different, ones that people might not expect. The one is the Indiana Fever. I just told you they're in win now mode. They added veteran pieces like DeWanna Bonner to play alongside Caitlin Clark, Natasha Howard playing alongside Caitlin Clark with the pieces they already have. Look out for the Fever. We've already talked about Minnesota and New York. Of course, the Aces, they won it a couple seasons ago. So my sleeper team is Seattle. I'm just saying, Seattle. No one was paying attention to the Minnesota Lynx at the start of last season. Towards the middle of the season, the Lynx were like, no one's talking about us. We could say the same thing about Seattle this season, potentially. They've got Nneka Ogwumike, who you all know, Chiney is her sister. I'm all for Nneka Ogwumike. Skylar Diggins-Smith, Gabby Williams played in the Olympics. They have a rookie in Dominique Malunga who can dunk with ease. I'm just saying, look out for.
Okay, all right. There's sleepless in Seattle. Now we got a sleeper in Seattle. Andrea Carter, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And, of course, you can catch the New York Liberty taking on the Las Vegas Aces and the Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever, starting at 1 right here on ABC and ESPN.
Now with our play of the day and the pup who can't wait to say hello. Take a look at this balcony here. Someone has written a big sign, "Shout Max, if you are lucky, an angel will appear." So let's run the video.
Max!
Oh, so cute.
There's Max right there, the angelic golden retriever. What a totally little sweetheart there. Chunky face. This video has more than 2 million likes on Instagram. One person speaking for many saying, "I'd walk down that road 1,000 times just for a glimpse of that angel."
It's a smile.
Angel. Somebody was looking for me. Still coming up here on GMA in our second hour, our GMA cover story, new guidance released by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists on managing pain during common in-office procedures. Stick around.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. Tornado outbreak.
Oh, my God.
At least 16 people killed as violent spring storms sweep across the Midwest, bringing severe weather to 90 million Americans from Texas to New Jersey. This church in St. Louis crumbling.
The extreme weather is now moving here through downtown Indianapolis.
Team coverage of these dangerous storms and where they're headed next.
We're gearing up for the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. Stitch is hitting the road, and he has a special message for us.
Good morning, America. My name, Stitch.
Rihanna's music comeback, the superstar dropping her first song in 3 years for the Smurfs movie. And the Chicks are saying hello to Goodbye Earl, announcing a jukebox musical.
And we're in a good mood this morning. Lynn Whitfield is live in Times Square talking about the new season of The Chi.
Men have terrorized this city long enough. Women, we have to do something.
And she's saying,
"Good morning, America."
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
And oh, it is.
Yes.
Good morning, America.
Love
The
that energy, right? Yeah.
So grateful
She
to have
brought
Lynn
it all.
Whitfield here.
That's right. Emmy-winning actress, of course, and you know her from The Chi, and we cannot wait to talk to her about season 7 of the show. She's shaking things up.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Also, we have a lot of news to get to, including the massive manhunt underway right now for the inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail.
Yeah, you've got to see that video. But we do begin this morning with the deadly outbreak of severe weather from the heartland to the East Coast. Now, over 20 million Americans are under alert for severe weather. ABC's Alex Stone joins us live from Clear Creek, Indiana, with the very latest. Good morning again, Alex.
Janae, good morning again to you. This was the post office in town, and there's not a whole lot left. They tell us this is where everybody came together. This was their meeting point. Already they're beginning to clean up and to get a lot of this debris into this dumpster here. This just one tornado of many in this region.
Overnight, deadly storms from the heartland to the East Coast, bringing heavy floods, powerful winds, large hail, and tornadoes to over 90 million Americans. Parts of Kentucky shredded, at least 9 dead in Laurel County. This neighborhood torn apart by a tornado. Home after home reduced to rubble. First responders searching for survivors.
We saw stuff falling, and next thing we knew, he said most of the house was gone.
The governor there declaring a state of emergency. In Missouri, at least 7 deaths across the state.
It's all debris in the road.
In St. Louis, Missouri, the damage extensive.
Oh my God, look at that car. And the houses, oh my God.
Debris littering the roads, trees uprooted like this massive one strewn across the street. At least 4 dead in the city due to the storm, 1 killed after part of this church crumbled to the ground. And in Illinois, this video capturing a twister forming in Marion. A dust storm in Bloomington consuming the sky, roads barely visible for drivers navigating their way through. We were across the border in Indiana as a storm raged on.
The extreme weather is now moving here through downtown Indianapolis. There's a concert down the street. People are taking shelter in the lobbies of the buildings to get out of this.
The Northeast also hit hard as those storms pushed east, floodwaters overtaking parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Damaging winds ripping through Virginia, toppling trees and leaving at least 2 dead.
So many people impacted, the number of dead going up, and now the problem being power lines that are down everywhere. Over 500,000 people are without electricity. These are actually cable lines right here, but similar situation. They've got to get them back up. They're working on that today while they're cleaning up all over the area. Janae?
All right, Alex, thank you for your reporting. And tomorrow we'll have a look at where the storms are moving, coming up in just a bit.
Now to the urgent manhunt this morning following a mass escape from a New Orleans jail. Authorities say 10 men got out. At least 3 have already been recaptured. ABC's Maria Villarreal joins us now with the latest. Maria, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. As you mentioned, 3 of the 10 have been captured. One of them actually near a hotel in the French Quarter. I mean, this happened in the heart of New Orleans, a tourist magnet, leaving the community on edge. But we do know that the manhunt is intensifying. For the remaining suspects, several of them have been charged with murder. All of them are considered armed and dangerous. Now, new images and video are emerging from inside that New Orleans jail where 10 inmates dug their way out. Surveillance video showing 2 of the men rigorously pulling on a cell door that police say leads outside. Then you see 10 men quickly run out of the building. Authorities say the group took advantage of defective locks on their usual cells and then making their way to a specific cell, removing a bolted toilet from the wall to create their great escape. Top officials believe they got help from inside someone within the jail system. There were no deputies assigned to the unit where this happened for some reason, and authorities say the technician assigned to keep an eye on surveillance cameras actually walked away when this happened to get food. The sheriff is adamant this group had help inside and outside the jail, and they're going to keep digging to find out how this all happened. We do know so far 3 of the jail employees have been suspended, and local schools and universities, they are on high alert right now. They're adding more security on campus and at graduation ceremonies that are expected to happen all throughout this weekend. Gio?
Just a wild story in so many ways. All right, Medea, thank you so much. It is also day 2 now of the transit strike affecting hundreds of thousands of people in New Jersey and New York. Talks breaking down between union leaders and New Jersey Transit Management on Thursday. Better pay for employees seems to be the issue here. The union saying its members are the lowest paid of any major passenger railroad, despite operating the 3rd largest train system in the country. The last New Jersey transit strike, which was some 40 years ago, lasted about 3 weeks. Janae?
All right, Gio. The Secret Service is set to interview former FBI Director James Comey. This after a photo he posted online, according to sources. Comey's Instagram post showing this, seashells that appear to form the numbers 8647. Trump administration officials claim that's a call to 86 or kill the president. Comey says he didn't realize those numbers could be associated with violence. He's since deleted the post.
All right, let's turn now, Janae, to the NBA playoffs. A huge game overnight. The Knicks with a solid victory, punching their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. ABC's Ashin Singh is here with more. You're from Boston. I see you're still wearing a little green.
Had to.
A dark green for the dark mood of the loss.
But well, yeah, a little bit of a forced smile.
Exactly, but it was a good game.
It was a good game. It was an okay game.
All right.
The Celtics got it handed to them a bit as the New York Knicks fans are celebrating because their Knicks are back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. It was an all-around effort for the New York Knicks last night as they handily beat the defending champion Boston Celtics, leading by as many as 41 points during the game. A stark difference from Game 5 where the Knicks had a chance to close it out in Boston, but experts calling last night's matchup the most expensive home game in franchise history. The Knicks got it done this time, though, with 4 of the Knicks starters notching over 20 points and a monster game from Karl Anthony Towns, who had a double-double. They'll now go on to face the Indiana Pacers, who have been waiting for them in a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference semifinals. And guys, over in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder will have a shot to face off the Denver Nuggets in Game 7 with a chance to play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. That'll be tomorrow on ABC, right here, 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
I feel your pain, though. You know,
yeah,
my
man.
Warriors, they're out.
You know what it is, man. We're heading into the summer already, right?
It was that shot last weekend of Ashin with all the Knicks fans opening up his shirt to show the Boston Celtics shirt.
Oh, man.
So you're living that one down, bud.
Never do that again.
Hey, man, you got to pull up when it's your time, right? You know, I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
Appreciate you. Always a loyal fan. All right, coming up here in our GMA morning menu, important new health information for women, what you need to know.
Also ahead here, the Shy's Lynn Whitfield is here. We're talking the new season of the show and taking a trip down memory lane.
And it's the last day of our beauty bonanza. That beauty right there, Tori Johnson, has the deals you don't want to miss. We'll be right back here on GMA. We're back back now with our GMA cover story. New developments this morning when it comes to women's health. Dr. Edith Bracho-Sanchez, a medical doctor here in New York City at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, is here to break everything down. Thank you for being here, Dr. Edith. We always appreciate you. Let's start with something that you say is so important. It's new guidance released by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists on managing pain during common in-office procedures like IUD insertions and biopsies. Tell us about that.
Yes, it is an acknowledgement that what women go through during these procedures is serious and should be taken seriously. So the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists saying that physicians should partner with patients to offer a wide range of options during gynecological procedures like IUD insertions, like cervical biopsies. Some of those options may include creams, they may include sprays, they may include injections. But the call again is to not underestimate the pain that patients go through, to take it seriously. And it's an acknowledgement that, listen, we haven't always been the best at acknowledging and appropriately treating women's pain. So a great, great step.
And for some patients, that can almost feel like gaslighting when they're saying that they're in pain and the doctor is maybe not taking it seriously.
Absolutely.
Important to point out.
And also the first study, it's a new way of analyzing mammograms. So what does that mean?
So I love this so much, Will, because what it does is it says, let's use radiomics, which is a technique that allows researchers to extract information from images that have already been done. So we're not putting women through additional tests or procedures. What we're doing is applying mathematical algorithms to images that have already been done. And what they did was, using this technique, classify women's breast tissue density, or texture, I should say, into 6 different categories, and then match them to future cancer risk. The hope, of course, being that this will allow early detection and then allow us to intervene. A little early, but very exciting technology.
So what does that mean for women?
So it means really that we're going to be able to, again, without undergoing additional testing, without undergoing additional procedures, potentially detect cancer earlier.
Wow.
And what's exciting is that this was true regardless of BMI, breast tissue density, and also race. So the results and the ability to match this to future cancer risks depending on tissue textures was true for both Black and white women.
Wow. Important updates there. And real quick, I know we're running out of time, but can we bring in little William? Because
oh my gosh,
I think it is incredible, Dr. Edith, that you joined us here on a weekend, and you're also momming too. You are a busy doctor.
I am momming.
We
and can I just say,
you so much.
Oh my gosh, of course. Can I just say one thing? We're talking about very exciting things for women and for women's health. But the call is that we can't really use this treatments and this early detections if you don't make it to the physician to begin with, right? So
great point.
Come see us, and everyone who has a woman in their life who loves a woman, right? All the moms out there, just make it. Please make it. Let's keep up with our screenings because it matters.
There you go.
Gosh,
Super mom, right from the super mom right there.
Mother there. Thank you so much, Dr. Edith, for being superwoman for us.
Another little William is here.
We wear the same size. That was my Knicks jersey. That was my Knicks jersey he was wearing.
Equally adorable.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm going for. All right, we're saying hello to pop news this morning, but we're also saying goodbye, Earl. Hit it. Woo! That is the song that Rolling Stone ranked as the 23rd best country music song of all time last year. So how do you make one of the greatest songs of all time even better? You give it the Broadway treatment. The Chicks are executive producing a jukebox musical called Goodbye Earl, featuring all of their biggest hits. And as if that's not exciting enough, the script comes from Taylor Jenkins Reid, the author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The new musical.
Sorry, I was really excited. That's a good one.
That is Broadway the appropriate reaction, I'll have you know. You two need to work on your reactions. It's about 2 friends who unite to try to do away with one of their abusive husbands, and it's said to have Thelma and Louise vibes.
Yeah.
There it is.
And
there it
is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The
we go.
Chicks catalog, by the way, prime for this. I don't know what's taken them so long, but I'm so excited for that. All right, in movie news, we're saying aloha to Stitch ahead of his big screen live action debut. And y'all, Stitch has an exclusive message for us this morning straight from the shores of Hawaii. Take a look.
Hi, Will. Good morning. Ohana. Stitch. Pop into pop news. Where will I pop up next?
Wait, that is, I'm sorry, that's epic.
He said, I will.
Yeah.
Forget Meryl Streep. Stitch knows who I am. All right, so where is Stitch going to pop up next? Well, he's been busy causing some chaos at a Cinemark in California. There he is, taking a convertible for a test drive. He's also been putting the pop into popcorn. You can see him. Oh, yes. There he is. But next up on his travel itinerary, GMA. The stars of Lilo and Stitch are taking over our studio ahead of the big day when Lilo and Stitch hits theaters this Friday, May 23rd. Ohana means family. He said hi, Will.
He did.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, finally, it's been 157 days since Taylor Swift has posted on Instagram, but who's counting? Even more alarming, it's been 115 days since I've talked about her here in Pop News, but don't worry. The Swifties are certain that Taylor is making an announcement imminently. This feels like deja vu. It's because I've done this exact thing before. All right. Right now, she has 12 items on her website listed at 26% off, which has fans thinking she might be announcing her 12th studio album on the 26th. But what's happening on the 26th? The American Music Awards, also known as the AMAs, and Taylor's website recently redesigned to feature apparel, music, accessories, and sale in that order, AMAs. Plus, her official fan page, Taylor Nation, recently tweeted lyrics, but if you can look, the capitalized letters there, AMAS. Taylor became the most awarded artist in AMA's history in 2019 when she performed an epic medley of her hits right here on ABC. So will she announce something at the AMAs this year? I'll keep you posted.
You're quite the detective, Will Gans. Yeah,
I know.
You need a big magnifying glass.
That's where Janae has her ooh.
Yeah, that got me. Ooh.
I appreciate the sound effects and all of you.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. All right, so Janae, deals and steals.
All right, let's head over to Tori. It is the finale of our Deals and Steals Beauty Bonanza, and Tori Johnson is here with savings on skin, hair, and nail care, and they start at just $10. Tori, this is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's switch sides.
Yeah, you're on the side. Thank you. Then I know which way I'm going. Okay, we're starting with Laura Geller Beauty.
Good
this
stuff.
is for all of us in the 40 over club. They like to really focus on mature skin. So skin that it's often dry. They want to help us to look our best because it's all about glamour, glow, confidence. They created this kit right here. This gorgeous at any age. It's got everything that you need. Kind of a feast for the eyes, cheeks, lips. Kind of includes everything, but all of the products are fabulous. And today's the day to get in on them because up to 65% off plus free shipping.
A feast for the face.
A feast for the face, baby. All right. Vogue once called this the best cleanser in the world from Eve Lom.
Okay.
It's 35 years they've been selling this cleanser, and it really is a 5-in-1 powerhouse. Removes makeup, cleanses, tones, exfoliates, hydrates, kind of does it all.
Yeah.
And we've got all of this allows you to bring that luxurious spa experience home with formulas that really deliver all 50 to 60% off plus free shipping from
Oh,
as well.
we love it.
All right, we also love DermaFlash.
Yes.
We've got 2 different devices. The dermaplaning device that's going to
People rave about these.
They really do.
Yeah.
Going to take off that top layer of peach fuzz so that your makeup glides on better, your products absorb better. And then we also have their DermaPore, which is really great for extractions so that oil, blackheads, easy, painless, 50% off and free shipping.
We love it.
We also love Ahava. They make really great skincare that is rooted in all of the nature and minerals in the Dead Sea. One of their best-selling products is this serum right here, their Crystal Serum. Intensive wrinkle, reduction, firming glow. Check, check, check. Yes,
Everything we want.
And you know what else we want? 50% off and free shipping.
Yes.
We want that too, and we got that.
Look, even the guys are excited.
Of
Yeah.
course. Dr. Dana, we abuse our nails. We are not good to our nails.
Right.
This kit, 10 nails in 10 minutes, and you can sort of restore the luster. Really helps to revitalize dry, brittle, damaged nails from all the stuff we do to our nails. I love their glass file. This little one right here, great to keep in your bag. It's just a really great cuticle oil, but it's nourishing as well. You get instantly looking fabulous nails, plus 50% off starting at $5.
Love that you included nail care.
And then finally, hair care. Ramila, this is a new to us line. Started with this little serum right here as a travel treatment.
Pop it open?
You pop it open. It's now become an everyday ritual.
Wow.
It's going to help with reducing breakage, restoring shine. This is fabulous, as is right here. This, it's like a green goddess
hair mask. Yeah.
So if you want to focus on color restoration,
everything you need.
No frizz. This is the line. It is 50% off.
Scan that QR code. We've got everything on our website, partnered with all these companies. Tori, thank you so much. Still coming up here, Lynn Whitfield. Stick around.
Welcome back. We are on GMA here with the one and only Rihanna, the superstar, dropping Friend of Mine, her first new song in 3 years. It's on the soundtrack of the upcoming Smurfs movie, in which she voices Smurfette. So Rihanna fans will have to keep waiting for her much anticipated 9th album. But the good news is this is a dance track here, so it's perfect for your summer playlist.
Yeah, we hear that beat. We're ready to go.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever music we can get from Rihanna.
Yes, we will.
Here are some of the other top headlines that we're following right now. Numbers show that the Texas measles outbreak shows signs of slowing down, but experts warn that the health emergency is not yet over. As of Friday, there were 1,024 confirmed measles cases in the U.S., which is an increase of 23 since last week. Doctors saying, quote, there's a lot of global measles activity right now.
And singer Chris Brown remains in a UK prison after his arrest Thursday in Manchester. On Friday, a judge decided to keep the Grammy winner behind bars until his June 13th court appearance. Brown is accused of assaulting a producer at a nightclub in London in 2023.
And in the NHL playoffs, the Toronto Maple Leafs keeping their season alive by beating the Florida Panthers 2-0 last night. Game 7 is Sunday night in Toronto. Tonight, you can catch the Winnipeg Jets. They're taking on the Dallas Stars in Game 6 of the Western Conference semifinals right here on ABC at 8 p.m. All right, our next guest is an Emmy Award-winning actress known for playing strong leading women, from Josephine Baker to Lady Mae Greenleaf, and now Lynn Whitfield is back as Alicia in season 7 of The Chi. Welcome. It's great to have you.
Excited that you're here.
So we were just saying that 7 seasons, just incredible. Like, why do you think this show about Chicago's South Side has resonated with people so much?
Because it's about the South Side, and Chicago is a major character in it, but also we've watched these young actors, these young characters grow up. And it's endeared America to them. The stories are real. Most people can find themselves in at least one of these characters, and it's just a testament to the fact that our stories matter. And it's very exciting. 7 seasons. All right, Lena Way.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Applause for that. And your character, Alicia, as Whit mentioned, is just one of a long line of strong female roles that you've played. Lady Mae in the OWN series Greenleaf, Josephine Baker, who you posted a tribute to on International Women's Day, saying that her life and legacy profoundly impacted your own.
Yes.
Talk to us about what you call acting as a service work.
Well, I feel that it's really important that people understand strong black women of color. So I take it on, I protect them like, you know, I am very conscientious on my women, and I think their voices need to be heard, because, you know, if you're a man and you're say controlling or whatever, they say, yeah, he's really holding his ground, you know. But if you're a woman, you know, it's the B thing. You know, you're difficult. So I think it's very important that we understand why women are the way they are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what queen is going to give up a kingdom easily? Come on, please.
Exactly.
Like, nobody is.
Yeah.
And Queen Elizabeth wouldn't do it, so why should Alicia do it? Why should Josephine Baker do it? Why should Lady Mae do it?
Yeah.
So it's a service job to share humanity and to share the truth of human beings. Like, if you don't, I don't want to fake the funk.
Yeah.
I want people to really understand who these people are. And so it makes me feel like I am of service to shed light on it.
Well, should we take a look at your fabulous work right now?
Let's do it.
Oh, God,
Here's
I
a
hope
clip.
it's a scene I like.
This is from The Chi.
They did it. You sure?
Do you think he would do something like that?
I do. Bring him to me.
Ooh, bring him to me, and the eyes, the look that you bring there. What can fans expect in season 7 now?
It's a roller coaster ride. A lot of questions will be answered and more will be posed. There'll be a lot of vying for power. The women are going to do their very best to take control of the south side of Chicago. And you're going to see a lot of relationships working themselves out and all that. It's just a human experience. It's the whole ball of wax.
Yes.
You're going to be entertained, you're going to be shocked, and lots of questions. Maybe happy, maybe disappointed, you know.
The human experience, as you said.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, people are really cool. We need to, you know, really appreciate humanity more and respect our differences more and enjoy our differences more. So, you know, it's gonna be something. I'm very excited, and I'm sorry I can't tell you more, but.
Okay, all right, well, we will stand by and look forward to that. But while we have you here, we do like to dig into the archives from time to time. So we have a little Lynn Whitfield fun fact here. You were in Lionel Richie's Running with the Night music video.
What?
Back in 1983.
Oh,
there
I was a baby. What?
What do you remember about this moment?
What the hell are you talking about? 1980 what? Shut up! Okay, let's see. Where am I in it?
I'm done.
Can you see my face? There I am. Is that me? Where am I? Oh my God! Where am I? Am I cute?
What would you?
Did I do the step?
What would you say to yourself back then? Oh, you still got it?
Oh my goodness! Could you imagine all these years later what your career
Okay, well,
would
can we stop
amount
with all the years?
I'm sorry.
We've had enough.
I already made the mistake, and then you just followed right into it.
I've raised my voice. Wait.
Just to honor the incredible work you have done.
What do you mean all
the incredible work that you have done in this little bit of time. Could you have imagined to build a career like you have?
Oh my God, I want so much more. I still see all the things.
You.
I still see all the things that I want to do, you know? And so all I have to do is, you know, stick with the alt therapy. Prime, I hear this is a new thing. Try that. Just keep it tight. Keep my wits about me, not take myself too seriously, and move it all forward.
That is incredible.
You are gorgeous in and out. You really are.
Yeah, the energy you brought into the studio is everything.
Well, let's have a moment. Thank you.
We love it.
And the sleeves say it all, too.
Well, I know, you know,
Lynn Whitfield,
Thank you all so
our
much.
pleasure. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Of course, you can catch the new episodes of The Chi on Fridays on Paramount Plus with Showtime.
We're going to be talking about this for days because this was incredible. Now, with Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebration, our Will Reeve brings us the festivities at the park.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's hard to remember a time without Disneyland, right? Because it's been around for 70 years, 7 decades of magic at the happiest place on earth. And we're going to take you behind the scenes to introduce you to some of those people who make the magic happen and have been doing so for decades. Take a look.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
For 7 decades, Disneyland Resort has welcomed people of all ages and from all over the globe to experience everything the park has to offer. And this morning, Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebration kicks off with the all-new World of Color Happiness show at California Adventure Park, hosted by Inside Out's Joy and her fellow emotions.
And when we all shine together like that, what a rainbow.
And the return of the Paint the Night Parade at Disneyland Park, lighting up Main Street USA with more than 1 million LED lights. The 70 years of happiness that have unfolded here, thanks in part to Disneyland's incredible cast members, like firefighter Hank Amin.
I always say a smile will bring a smile. Hi.
At 92 years young, Hank holds the title as the current longest-standing employee of the Walt Disney Company, celebrating 62 years of service last fall.
When somebody tells me that I've been here that long, I just have to pinch myself. I says, really?
Hank first made his magic as a skipper on the Jungle Cruise.
How you doing? Guests would applaud after we get to the dock. And I said, well, I must have done a pretty good job.
He went on to join the Disneyland Fire Department in 1959 and even recalls meeting Walt Disney.
He asked me how I liked working here, what could we do to make a difference, and what a beautiful memory that was. I think my lucky stars, and I was blessed.
For the Lugo family, Disney is part of their DNA. 6 members of the family all work here at the Disneyland Resort, a legacy that started 19 years ago with chef Juan Lugo Nunez.
When I first came from Mexico, I said one day I'm gonna like to work here, and then 19 years later, I'm still here.
The executive chef at California Adventures says he hopes his food tells a story with every bite.
We're at Disney. Disney is special. So we make people happy, and then I do that through food.
And now his sons have joined the Disney family too. Marvin is an order cook, and Juan Jr., a public relations associate.
One of my favorite things to do with my dad is make him go on rides. Love making him go on the Incredicoaster. I love having him go out of his comfort zone.
The Lugo family and fireman Hank, just a handful of the many thousands bringing magic to life at Disneyland for the past 70 years and into the future.
We're just getting started.
What a remarkable legacy those folks have left. They're part of the 70-year history here at Disneyland. The celebrations are just beginning. They're going to continue all year long. There's going to be new entertainment, special shows, all those snacks, 70 new items on the menu. That's where I'm going to go right now in search of. It's a great time here at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth, guys.
All the snacks.
Yeah.
Hope he ate well. Our thanks to
Gio
Will.
was just there.
You
I was
were.
just there. I love it. I love
Had a blast.
Disneyland.
Got all the
Yeah,
rides
so
in.
much fun. All the rides.
Yeah.
And coming up, our friend Will Gans has some big bargains. What you need when you're on the go. Here's Secret
Little
Sales.
Will, big bargains.
We're going to Disneyland, everybody. Oh, can you take
Pack
that?
your bags.
We're off.
We're off.
We're off.
Are you off? Are we off? Oh, okay, bye. We'll be back. All right, welcome back. Will is back here with ABC Secret Sales with must-haves when you're on the go, just in time for the summer getaway season. Everything you see here is shoppable on our website, of course, and on that little QR code right there. What's up, Will?
Empezamos con Rosetta Stone.
Oh, empezamos. Very good. Okay.
So we do have Rosetta Stone. This is a fabulous deal. As you know, lessons with Rosetta Stone, short as 5 minutes. You can access them via app. You can access them via app or desktop.
We can work on the English lesson.
The English I'm still struggling with. But you can get feedback from native speakers, which is one of the best ways to learn a new language. This is great if you're planning a trip or if you want to maybe add a little skill to your resume or something. The fabulous thing here, you can get lifetime access to one language for $89.
That's huge.
Or lifetime access to all 25 languages for $140, which is a savings of more than 60% today.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people love this. Okay, so what are these chargers, huh?
This is Limitless Innovations, and this is the best way to power up.
These are cool.
Look how cute that is.
That's
it's tiny.
amazing.
You can just clip it to your ring. It comes with a flashlight, and there are different adapters. These you can charge everybody at the same time. There are multiple ports, so you just plop it down at the dinner table, and you are the friend that brings the charge to the party. These are also chargers. You can clip them on. They barely look like that, though. How sweet is this? Love Limitless Innovations. You'll save up to 50% today if Gio doesn't break the product.
The problem is I'm just trying to like swipe
Try it
these.
all. No.
It's so cool.
Great. And they're super chic looking as well.
Okay.
All right. This is Signal Vault. This is great for protection from identity thieves, from anyone who's trying to maybe steal your credit card information. All you do is you plop one of these cards into your wallet, and it creates an e-technology field that's going to protect you from electronic pickpockets, things like that. So you just put it in your card slot. You don't have to charge it. You don't have to do anything.
Nothing.
It creates a little invisible shield to protect you from all of those things.
That is brilliant. Okay, cool.
All right, this is Save the Girls. I'm obsessed with this. These are bags that you can text and type through. So instead of leaving your phone somewhere because you're pulling it out, you're texting, you're typing, you leave it in your bag. So then if you leave with your bag, that's all you have. Right here, too. This is so chic. This works with any phone case. You just attach it here. You have your phone ready to go. You have your wallet right here. Everything comes with you. How cute is that?
I can see you walking through Disney like that.
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay. These bags are so cool.
Yes. By the way, these prices slashed in half. Those you can get 4 for 25% off. How amazing is that?
That is awesome.
Yes. This is Brook & Company. These are super chic. Cross-hatch pattern, vegan leather. We have a garment bag. You have a dop kit there.
By the way.
Yeah. This is the Weekender. We also have a woven collection that's super chic. They're very, very easy to clean. Duffels, totes, toiletry bags, and a garment bag, all at least 45% off.
I mean, these are some huge deals.
Yeah, they're our secret sales.
All right.
So
Thank you, Will.
Keep it on the DL.
And we've partnered with all these companies right here on these great bargains. You can get them by scanning, again, that QR code right there on your screen, or go to goodmorningamerica.com.
And thank you so much for starting your weekend with us.
Yes, you can catch more weekend news coverage over on ABC News Live.
Yes, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.